Are we really live? Are we not live? I don't know. I'm going to check right now because it seems every time I do this, we're not live. Let's find out. Are we live? Or are we not live? We're not live. Oh, we are live. What do you know? Oh, we are live. What do you know? Oh, we are live. What do you know? We're doing a little Led Zeppelin there. Way down inside. All right. Sorry. Get my spectacles on so I can see what's happening in the chat tonight and all that fun stuff. So, all right. It is Wednesday. You know what time that means? It is time for Randy's Guitar Attic on this nice Wednesday night here in Florida. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I've already been out doing my 3-mile walk and all that good stuff before we got out of here. Make sure my El Bandito Yankee Tequila sticker is visible. I didn't have to say that, but I did. So what's happening tonight, everybody? If you haven't checked out the no socks or no shoes, just socks tonight. Hey, Alex, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate that very much. We're going to talk about that a little bit. If you haven't checked that out, we have a new video up about the Space Coast Guitar Show. We went down there, myself and Bruce, and my singer Kenny from the Occasional Astronauts was there with us as well. Mitchell, how are you? Good to see you. So, yeah, it was a pretty good show. I wasn't expecting much, but it actually turned out to be a really good show. It was in a smaller place, but we Terry, good to see you. You actually made it here at 8. Yes, you did. You did make it here at 8. And we actually are on the laptop tonight. The laptop actually worked for a change, surprisingly. So I'm not really sure what actually changed. I made one little setting change and it did work. So that's good. We'll take that as a plus. So, but we went to the Space Coast Guitar Show this weekend. We walked in. We first walked in. The building was bigger than we thought it was going to be, and they had I didn't show the other room. There was another room off to the side. When you walk in the place to the right, it was nothing but a jam session place. They actually had a jam set up where people could go in there and jam with a band and stuff, where a band could go in there, play whatever. They were, I guess Jaco Pastorius's son was actually in there playing as well. I didn't see him. Would have been cool to get a little video of him, but I didn't see. He wasn't there playing when I was in there. So we wandered around and did the show. We walked in the room. Like I said, it wasn't real big, but it was full. It was really, really full. There were a lot of people in that place. A lot of people. We had to wait to get in, and it was late in the afternoon. I can't imagine what it was like if you had gone there early on and waited in line. God, I'm looking at the shirt on me, man. This shirt is huge. I need to get some more clothes that fit me. So, but anyways, yeah, it was a good show. They had a lot of stuff in there. Somebody asked about all the Chinese guitars that were in there. There was a section I did feature in the video about the Chinese guitars. A guy he must have had probably 25, 30 of these guitars. Not all of them were Chinese. Some of them were Epiphones and stuff like that, but he had some fake Gibsons, some fake Fenders in there. He had a fake Ibanez. I was like, wow, this guy's got a lot of them. They're sitting in there. It's like, they're fake. But he was selling them, and people were buying them. I mean, they were inexpensive. I mean, I think a Gibson Chipson, he was selling those for like $250, that's fine. If you're going to sell them, you let people know what they are. That's fine. I got caught with an ESP not too long ago, and I actually sold it to a guy, and I felt really bad. I had him send it back. I refunded his money and stuff because I didn't know it was fake, but it does happen. They do get biased sometimes. The thing is, they will fake anything. And like I said, I got caught with this ESP and didn't realize it was a fake ESP. Mainly because it was a cheaper ESP that I'm like, why would they fake one of these? I just didn't get it. I mean, but they will fake anything. It doesn't really matter. So, anyways. So tonight we have a, what is this? This is my, what is this thing? I'm going to look here. I don't even know what my guitar is. 2008 Fender American Stratocaster. No big deal. This is one of my backup guitars that I take out and play. I actually do. When I bring this out, I usually will play, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a set. Maybe, I think the longest I've ever played was 3/4 of a set. This guitar has never made it through a whole set. For some reason, I'm just like, I can't play them. I mean, I can play it, but it's like, just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't feel the same as the PRSs do. So I stick to those. We played this weekend, and we actually played a couple things that we hadn't played in a while. I was like really totally stoked that we played it. We played at Lou's Blues on Friday night, and we played, which was down in Melbourne, right? Well, not Melbourne, but Indian Atlantic, which is close to that. And played there Friday, and they had to go back there on Sunday. Went right by the place, or well, almost to the place. Anyways, but did that, and then we played Old Town, which is over in Kissimmee, which is part of Fun Spot. Fun Spot is an amusement park, so this is all part of this amusement park. So we play there like once a month, and but we actually got to play some songs that we had not played, and I was like totally stoked because we had not to go into kind of personal things, but we have got a new drummer in our band. Our other drummer just had some stuff going on that just kind of interfered. Not really. It interfered with the band, but it wasn't really his fault. So he had some health stuff going on. So, but we felt like we needed to get rid of him because it was, it was too risky. Something could happen, and when we would have to cancel a gig, and that does happen. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had this happen or not. I know what you're looking for, stuff. There was a fake down there, by the way. But anyways, got rid of the drummer, got a new drummer. New drummer is great, really great guy, great drummer, period. Just brings it every time. But unfortunately, he has a day job that he drives these giant tractors, these things, they grade parking lots and stuff. And he has to be there. I see the comment down there. I'm gonna reply to both of you guys that have comments. I'll reply back. But he grades these parking lots and he has to be there at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So the band thing is not going to work out for him. So we're looking for another drummer. But man, it was so much fun playing with him. Because I actually got to play like. Got to play stuff like that, which I don't get to play. It was like a lot of fun just to kind of play something different, Last Kiss. I've actually played that. That's the same band plays that. All right. So what is this question? What would I buy today for my own personal use? To use Paul Reed Smith. I definitely would. I'd buy another Paul Reed. Just because I think the Paul Reed Smith actually is the best utility guitar. It really is. It's in even the SCs. Now, not all of them. I have seen some of the SCs I've recently that I've gone, ooh, some things aren't quite the same. I don't know what's going on. I've seen that with a lot of companies recently, that some of these guitars they don't feel quite right. And I don't know what's going on with them. But I have a 248 or 2408, I think it's a 2408. It's an SE that I like. It's a nice little guitar. It does the job. That's a guitar I've talked about on the channel about it, that it's not with me. It's actually on a motor coach. It's in New Hampshire this weekend. It's at the NASCAR race this weekend in New Hampshire. I probably won't get to see that guitar until probably February, unless I go out to Phoenix and see it. I'm hoping that in October, I'm going to get one date to go up to North Carolina and just go play that NASCAR gig and up there and just, but I haven't got the okay yet. So I'm waiting. I'm about to go get a Heritage P90. Heritage is a good guitar. Yeah, those are really good guitars. Unfortunately, they don't give any love. Heritage falls in that whole thing with the G&Ls. They have the history. Heritage actually came out of the Gibson factory, and G&L was Leo Fender. But nobody cares. It doesn't say Fender, doesn't say Gibson. So they just don't get the love. But they're great guitars. Really good guitars. Now this guitar actually, I've got two of the original signal coils in there. And then the back has I think it's a quarter pounder. So anyways, we did that show this weekend. We went to the guitar show. It was a great show. Like I said, Mike, the guy that put it on, did a really good job. Did a good job of promoting it. Been promoting it for a long time. We have the Tampa guitar show coming up in the end of next month. I have yet to see any promotion for that. It's the same people that put on the Bradenton show last year. They did the same thing. They didn't put they really didn't advertise the show. And they wait until like the week before. You can't do that. People got to make plans. You got to make plans. And I've already paid for my booth for the show. And I'm like, oh God, here we go again. I'm going to be sitting in the show and we're going to have like 6 people come through the door all weekend. And I'm going to be dealing with basically with other dealers for 3 days, just trying to make things move or buy stuff, So, did you get the video from Metallica and George Lynch with the PRS? I did, yes, I did. But talking about George with a PRS, I did shows with George back then. George was playing a PRS, so not a unfamiliar sight for me. His blue PRS, he's had that for a while, and I know he has a couple more as well. But I remember him having that and saying, "Nice PRS," and he said, "I'm still trying to get used to this thing." I was like, "Oh, cool." So, yeah, that's fun times. All right, what else we got here? Serious question. Gibson mod shop guitars resale worth the investment? Just cool one-offs. Money grab. Another money grab, as far as I'm concerned. I would not spend the extra money. No. Gibson and Fender both do that. Gibson's got their whole mod shop thing going on too, as well. Fender and Gibson both have them, and I just think that they build so many guitars, and they put different labels on all these guitars, and you just, it's called marketing. I understand it. I totally get it. You've got to market to the masses, and building the same old thing is not going to make you any new money. And the only way to make new money is to make something cool again. And with the Les Paul and these Strats, Ateles, all this stuff like that, you can only make so many that look alike. And you got to figure a way to make this thing that, that's an iconic shape that everybody knows, and you see 10 billion of them. You got to make that new one be special. Well, that means, okay, so instead of putting this screw here, we're going to put it here. And then we're going to put this screw over here that would be here. We're going to move it over here. And then we're going to do this. We're also going to make this pickup come out of the guitar like that one. And then we're going to put a different bridge on. Fender's notorious for this. They put a different bridge, and then they call it a different guitar. Or we put a S1 switch in something, or we put the let's see. I don't know if this one has it. This one doesn't have it. But there's a while, I remember in the late, actually mid 90s, they came out with the TBX controls, and that was the latest greatest thing. And they, that was, basically how they were selling this control. Now with a TBX control, but they didn't change the name. They still had, it's still an American standard Strat. So, but yeah, they do this, they change things on guitars. It's still the same guitar, but they'll change a pickup here. They'll put a, different toggle switch in or whatever, just to make you buy, a Steinberger Les Paul. A Steinberger Les Paul. So it stops right here. Somebody will buy it. Somebody will buy it. There's an ass for every seat, as they say. And somebody will buy it. And who knows? It may end up being a great guitar. The Steinberger guitars were not bad guitars. just like the Parkers, they weren't bad guitars as well. I mean, um, there's worse guitars that they could duplicate. Well, talking about shapes of guitars that I don't particularly care for was the reverse V. Anybody seen one of those? The reverse flying V went this way, and instead of this way, it went that way. That was probably one of the stupidest guitars I think I've ever seen. That won the prize. To me, it's probably one of the stupidest guitars ever made. The reverse V. Why? And they sold them. They did sell quite a few. I think they said they were going to make 400 of them. I don't know if they sold all 400 of them or not, but they did sell. And I do see them at guitar shows every now and then. So there is, like I said, there's an ass for every seat. Somebody will buy whatever. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing any of you guys' chat tonight. So what else is going on in the world of guitars with everybody, or in the world of anything? I mean, we've got WrestlePalooza coming up this weekend. Here, I'll just talk about this because I know I have some wrestling fans in here. So the WrestlePalooza that's being streamed on ESPN, they have that. You can only certain people are going to be able to see it, because if you're not subscribed to a certain tier, or you don't have DirecTV, but you have Dish, you can't watch it on Dish, but you can watch it on DirecTV. It's really stupid. Fender Mod Shop and Gibson's are very different. Fender just lets you pick options from a list, yes, whereas Gibson gives you complete unique colors, hardware, and electric combos. Yeah, they do, but it's a money grab. It really, I mean, it's more of a personalized guitar. It's a custom guitar, but it's still just, it's a custom guitar. And this would be crazy to say that, but we all know what happens to custom boutique guitars. Do we all know that? Because I'm going to explain to that right now. Custom boutique guitars, when they come into our shop, they do not bring the same value as like Gibsons and Fenders. They're custom guitars. They're made for a certain person. So not everybody's going to buy that guitar. And that's the same thing with these mods. It's got this, it's got that. I passed on there was a Fender Mod Shop bass at the show, and I could have had it, and it was a good deal, but I just didn't want to go through the trouble of trying to find the guy that is going to like that bass as much as the guy that ordered it. And the same thing with Gibson. It's the same thing. I could go to Gibson right now and say, I want a Les Paul and I want a half black and half white, and they would make that. And that's cool. But how many other people are going to like a half black and half white Les Paul besides me? A few, but not everybody. And that's the whole problem. If you go out there and get a blueberry burst Les Paul, only half blueberry, and then you get the other half like just blue into blueberry. I guess that's almost what it is anyways. But if you got some, maybe cranberry into blueberry, okay, so you got the kind of the two together. If you got those both together, you understand what I'm saying. Not everybody's going to want that. The best thing about the big guitar brands is that even though we, as one of the only music stores left in Brooklyn, they still won't give us a chance to sell their products. I totally get that. I understand that, because you're in Brooklyn, and you're How big of a store do you have? Yeah, I mean, because I totally get it too, because I'm kind of in the same boat too. Not that I would want to carry um, Gibsons or Fenders or anything like that, but how big of a store you guys actually are, you guys? I'll wait for that response there, but no, see, I'm small myself, and you know, a lot of those big manufacturers do not care about me. They could care less about me carrying guitars. You know as well as I do, I don't have $125,000 to spend on Gibson guitars when I know that they're going to send me only what they really want to send me. So I might get a few nice Les Pauls. I might get a bunch of secondary Les Pauls. Let's see, music sit around. It's a small shop. We can only just. Oh wow, you are really small. Only a few dozen guitars. So you are. Well, a few dozen. I mean, well, no, you're probably. I have I got about 100 guitars in my guitar shop, um, and I'm 700 square feet in my showroom. So that just kind of shows you I'm kind of cramming a lot of stuff into a small shop, but I everything is well organized. You can still walk around the shop. I know I go into a lot of shops that they have that many, and they're just crammed all over each other. But I don't do that. I try to make sure I have space for people with handicapped people to walk through. So um, what else we got here? We concentrate on lessons and repairs now. I do a lot of repairs. I do lessons. I do most of my lessons actually online. I have kind of switched most everything online. But repairs, I agree with you. I do a lot of repairs. Big manufacturers are after the big sales. They don't care about the little guys. The sales reps make 5% commission, so they are after the money. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this. I'll give you a good, since you are another shop, and I'll give you a little tip. If you're looking for a good line if you haven't already checked these guys out, I would check out Kepma. 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 Chinese guitar, built-in effects in the acoustic guitars, built-in effects. I just got some of the newest ones. They're torrefied tops, solid torrefied tops, $400 retail. Sound great. They sound great. The first one we got sounded so good. My buddy Bruce, who is a freak about tone and everything, he bought it. He had to have it. He's like, man, that guitar sounds great. And there's a lot of guitars out there that are cheap that do sound great. I do have. I also carry LSL. If you're a small place, you can carry LSLs. Nash is another one. They do let you. If you're a small place, you can carry them. So I mean, if you're looking for good brands and stuff that have kind of a name, uh, that don't ask you to carry a billion guitars, those are two of them right there, Nash and LSL. You can carry LSL. I last time I asked them, I said, how many do I have to carry? Which I've been carrying LSL since they started. I was their first dealer, but they told me you can carry one. It's like, wow, but we want you to carry more. So I just kind of give you that one. I always like helping out the other um, other dealers out there. So anything I can do to help out the other dealers to try to make their sales better. I mean, I've been in business for 25 years. So I guess I've been around a little while. But I have worked for other shops as well. I managed a place called Almost Music, and you know and stuff like that. And I worked at a couple other shops, and I owned another shop back. I had a shop back in the 80s, but something happened. Well, a band asked me to go play with them, and I said, bye. And I closed shop and went. And then I never came off the road for 25 years. So, oh my. Lions and Tigers and Les Pauls and oh my. So, anyways, we got here. We got we're 30 minutes into the show. We got about another half hour here. So if anybody's got any questions or anything, just come on, shoot them out to me and let me know what's going on. Other than, you know, the bad stuff. We only want the good stuff. Give me some good stuff. What's happening? So, but anyways, yeah, I've been talking a lot. I started playing guitar at the store in 1988. I have been friends with the family ever since. Now I fix amplifiers in the annex a few blocks away. House. Well, cool. You're fixing the amps. So, being a amp guy, I know you probably see. I get a lot of like people will trade in Fender amps, older Fender amps, and unfortunately, a lot of times I have to be less than generous for old Fender amps, as much as I want to be generous, or any older amp. The problem is with older amps, especially if they've never been serviced. This is a problem. If they've never been serviced and they do come in the shop, I have to be very, very careful what I buy, because if you still got a two-prong cord, or your tubes have never been changed, and I got a little crackle, going on the amp and stuff. The pots are kind of taut, a little tight and stuff, and or maybe one's hotter than the other, because that's another thing that happened too. And the guy wants to know, oh, I saw them on Reverb. Can you guys read my shirt? And I saw them on Reverb for $4,000 or whatever. Well, maybe that one was brand new and it had just been serviced and had everything updated. Yeah, well, you're not going to get $4,000, and that's retail. So you're going to get a lot less, because one, if there is a problem with the amp, which I'll have to tell you this is just kind of the way the world is. Some of these amps sit in the store for months. By the time I go to sell that amp, something goes wrong with it. Then I got to tell the guy, I'm sorry, I can't sell this guitar amp because it's broken. So then it has to go out to a guy like you and have you fix the amp for me. And then you're going to charge me the bench charge and the parts charge and all the other stuff. I'm working on a 1966 Deluxe Reverb right now. It's almost all original. The eyelid board is warped and wavy. It is making the miserable. I think that's Spencer. I'm waiting for the electronic capacitors. Yeah, exactly. We have to. You guys fix them. We give them to you guys to fix, because we get these things in, and unfortunately, they break. 2006 Road King. Okay. That's. Anyways, all right. Yes, yeah. I hate to share that bad news about how amps are, but that's when you go into a dealership and you're trying to trade in an amp with tubes that's older, and you're not getting the money you think it's worth. It's partly because of that reason, because they're scary to a dealer. they do scare us because we aren't sure how long they're going to last on the floor. I have an old PV USA built guitar. Have they risen in price? A couple have, not all. The PV guitars that actually have gone up, the Vandenbergs have gone up, and the Wolfgangs. The rest of them are kind of flat across the board. I have 8 other broken 60s amplifiers behind me too. All of them are orphans from the store. See, bingo. Thoughts on the new Fender Ventura Roadworm? I like those guitars. Actually, I do like those guitars. I don't see anything wrong with those guitars. My handle is on my motorcycle model in case you wanted to know. Okay. I was going to say, that's kind of a motorcycle thing. Recommend it for home practice amp. Home practice amp. You want something like, okay, Spark amps. Perfect. There's my answer. Buy a Spark. It's a great low amp. Practice amp. That and the little, I mean, it looks like I'm picking my nose. I'm got an itch. The little Yamaha amps. I can't escape my whole thing. Thanks for the video on the guitar show. You are very welcome, Margaret. Do you have any Mesa heads? I do have. I have a Mesa Rectifier mini head, Mini 25. I just got it in. So that just came in. I do have the matching 110 cabinet, or I have another 112 cabinet as well. What else? Price on the Mesa Boogie head is $8.99. I don't know what the cabinets are. Once again, I love when people ask me prices of stuff when I'm here and not at the shop. It's like some people will ask me, how much for that pedal? They'll text me like in the middle of the night. Hey, how much do you want for that JHS Morning Glory? I have no idea. I'm not at the shop. I own 3 generations, 1 Ventura basses, and they are good. Yeah, they are. They all are. It's a good series. It actually is. So, Steph, you will have to call me at the shop tomorrow or text me in the morning when I get in the shop, and I will let you know how much those cabinets are. But the head is $8.99. So, enough, right? Price is ripe. Yes, price is ripe. Oh, I got to do my Slayer, don't I? I forgot how it goes. Never mind. I'll go back to the old scanner. How about this? Done. Need to learn another song. I tried, but I forgot how it goes. My Slayer licks are just not there. Sorry. I am watching you for inspiration. I am writing out a script for my 2004 JCM 800 repair video. Okay, so JCM 8. Those are great amps. That's all I can say. That's a really good amp. I remember having my JCM 800, and I had it on the road. I'll tell you a funny story. We were playing this place, and next they will ask for roots. Yeah. So we were playing this place, and we had this new sound guy come in. Has great sound guy. We knew who he was, and he comes in, and we pull all the gear off the truck, and we load it in. You know, sound guys and the road crew all set it all up. I walk in, and and the sound guy goes, "All right, guys, let's do a sound check." Get in there to do the sound check, and we play one song, and the next thing you know, the sound guy walks up to me and goes, "Not going to happen tonight." I said, "What's that?" He says, that amp's going the other direction. I went, "What?" He goes, "I'm also going to wrap it." I went, "Wrap it?" He goes, "Yeah, we're going to wrap it." So he goes out to the truck, and he gets a moving blanket, and he wraps my cabinet, sticks a mic in the cabinet, turns the cabinet the other direction, pulls my head around so I can still adjust it, and says, "Now you can play." Oh my. Pretty soon you're going to need a subscription to use your amp at all. You know, you may be right on that. What shade of blue is that Strat? You know, it is turquoise. I don't know what color they call this, but it's actually turquoise. I have a 31-old Crate GX15 practice that still use on daily. You know, really, wow, you're actually lucky. A lot of those GX15s are not alive. They are DOA. I see them all the times come in dead. But the subscription thing, I don't know if you guys have seen now, Boss has come out with these pedals, the newest, where you can actually subscribe and get different sounds for the pedal. I can't remember the name of it, but Boss has issued these things out. I mean, the Quad Cortex that I use, you know, you can download multiple amps through it. But if this subscription thing starts happening, you know, with this pedal thing, and some of the other companies are doing the same thing, it may end up being that way. You may end up just getting a shell, and then you subscribe to them, and they send you whatever you want. But you have to pick what you want, and you'll have this shell of an amp. It's crazy, but that could be the future, you know, just talking about that. Okay, I don't know what that means, Steph. Sorry. When they plug everyone into the matrix, no one will need pedals or amps. Yeah, exactly. Do you find that separate cabinet and head has a bigger sound than a combo amp? Does it move air? Hi, Eric. How are you? Good to see you, man. We are already have the platform. It is just the shell. Yeah, exactly. I agree. The shell, everything is sitting there waiting for us. As far as the big amps go, I like having a big amp. I really do. I just don't like carrying the big amp. Shout out from Michigan. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Jeff. And welcome. So I love having a big amp. I really do. Like I said, I just don't want to carry it. And these days of carrying that back there are gone. I have my Quad Cortex. I have a Kemper that what I play through. What you're hearing now is a Kemper. Have you seen the Hot House Do-It-Yourself DSP pedal? I have not seen that. I need to see it. The Spark amp, you have to pay for updates for certain packages. That's true, you do. It's very true. But the base, just the base model is fine. I feel that separate cabinet is far superior, even if it is just a 112. Yeah, and I use a quad Cortex, and I play it through a powered 112 cabinet most of the time. And it sounds great. I hate to say it, but it sounds really, really good. BR549 Junior Samples. Junior Samples. Breaker 19, this is the BR549 Junior Samples. Hot House has almost as many knobs and buttons as the Nano. Okay, so not a lot. Not a lot. I will have to check that out. Definitely will have to check that out. That may be the thing I did. I might have seen that. I did see somebody demoing something that was like very cheap. It's like, is that the thing that's like only $69 or some stupid 89? It's less than $100 and did all this cool stuff. It's based on the Daisy Seed platform. Okay. Huh. Breaker 19, what's your 20? Really dating ourselves now. Okay, so yeah, so it's the same thing I thought it was. All right, so yeah, I did hear that. It sounded pretty good. Breaker 19, Breaker 19. I got a bear shooting pictures the other direction, and you got an Evel Knievel sitting on the side of the road up there, mile marker 318. There's an open source music hardware platform called DZC. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing that's kind of, it's actually it actually works. You can actually take a lot of the some of the stuff from the quad Cortex into that. I have seen that. I love my big back loaded 15s with horns. PA in my basement. They're definitely not being moved anywhere. Sounds awesome, especially when I'm watching YouTube and through my stereo. There you go. That's where it belongs nowadays. The hardware in the kit is actually top notch. I have heard that. I spent most of my childhood, teenager years wrapping my amps with blankets and pillows. So you understand totally what I was talking about with the sound guy. Yeah, it's not another cheap loader. Sonicate and everyone else doing that right now. I just took a Sonicate in a pedal. It's funny. As far as big heavy cabinets, that's why you hire roadies. Yeah, well, the days of having to get roadies is on. It's when I remember years ago when I was kind of starting this whole music career out. Steph, see you later, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. When I was starting my whole kind of music career out, you had all these friends that wanted to be a roadie because they knew that when you went out and played or worked for the band, there was probably a chance you might get laid by some girl that wanted to be with the band and stuff. And since you work for the band, you might get the handoff. Hope I didn't offend anybody with that, but that's the God honest truth. What guitar did you buy at the Space Coast Guitar Show? I bought a Kramer 1984 Beretta. Free weed. Yeah. Have a Diesel Hubert or a Watts. You can turn it up. You can turn it down to the bedroom volume and get awesome tone. Yeah, I've heard great things about those amps. I have heard a lot about them. They're really, and that would be a great thing if it didn't weigh too much for me. Not that it weighs that much. But yeah, so the guys, the days of getting roadies are, yeah, they're gone. We actually had a girl work for us at one time. We had a girl working for us doing our lights, and for a little while, she wanted to just do it for free. Remember, and Ron Gear used to weed. Oh, like no boy. Diesel head is heavy. Yeah, no thanks. So yeah, we had a girl who worked for us at one time. She ran lights and stuff, and she had her fair share of men following her around, and she was perfectly happy with that. And that was kind of, I guess that's why she did it. I don't know. She was young. We all were young and stupid. We didn't care. No, we didn't care back then. We were young and stupid. So, kids, don't be like dad. Yeah, young and inexperienced. Exactly. Young, dumb, and full of, yes, exactly. I'm not any amateur, but I learned some lessons. I'm sure we all did. Great tone. I like the guitar. Maybe she was having fun doing it. Everyone has their reasons. I'm not judging her by any. She had just as much fun as we did. We all had fun. That's why we were in bands back then. I mean, we were young. It was fun being in a band. We've got a couple now. I have to say this. We actually are seeing some young bands starting to come out. I'm seeing another generation come out, and they're actually playing rock music, and it's great to see it. There's a band out of Orlando called Driven, and three girls and one guy. They're really good band. Really enjoy seeing that they're out there doing it. And we've got what's the band? It's the Papa Wheelie that's out here. Got a couple guys who are young in that band as well. Great to see it. I'm all for it. I love seeing the young guys, and I know that these young kids that are doing it now, they're probably reaping the benefits that we had the same way. Except, I feel sorry for them for this reason: that they're having to go play, and they play a place one night, and then they go to another place the next night, and then next night they got they're not getting to stay in these places for longer than maybe 1 or 2 nights, and that's it. So they can't build a huge following up in these places. At least that's what I believe. I think you build a following if you get to stay in these places a little longer, but they're not getting to reap that benefit. And plus they don't, these kids aren't getting dressing rooms. They're not getting to stay in a hotel room. Like when I did it full time, we got hotel rooms, we got free food, and we actually had green rooms. We actually had a dressing room that we could go in and hang out on the breaks if we wanted to, or before the shows, and do all this stuff. Now that you don't get that, you load into a club, you set your stuff up, you play, you pack it back down, and you're out the door, and then you're on the road again. And that's it. And It's tough. It is very, very tough compared to what it used to be. So, not that it was easy back then. I mean, before I played guitar, I was a drummer. Being a drummer in a band always attracts a certain type of girl. Crazy. I loved every minute. It's because you guys are moving all over the place, and you have great rhythm. So, at least most of the drummers do. Since you're a drummer, I got to do the drummer joke. You know what that is? It's your drummer knocking on the front door. You need to make a font bigger on your screen. Yes, I don't know how to do that. I wish I knew how to do that. I wish I did know that, but I don't know how to do it. Why, can you tell I'm going? Even with glasses on? Especially when you had to bring the PA as well. We still bring the PA. That's what we do now. Back then, we brought PA lights and all this stuff, but we usually had a sound company and light company that did all that. We didn't have to bring all that. That was their job. But I did have, 2 roadies. I think I had 2 guys that would take care of all my stuff, set them up, tear it down, and then, okay, guys. We'll see you next week or next show or whatever. Not next week. Usually it was next town. But the music was loud and you had to wait for a break. Yes, you did. I remember doing like during spring break, and because Florida, we have spring break, and it's like a big thing down here that the bands would actually get hired for 30 days straight, and we would play for 30 days straight. Either here in Daytona or actually in Key West, the same thing. We played 30 days in a row in Key West, which to me, that was hell. Love the video about what happens to your gear when you're gone. My wife dumping it all and getting the room back. Yes, exactly. It's exactly what happens. Your wife goes, I miss them so much. Would you like to buy this Stratocaster? and that's terrible. Hold control and hold control. All right. I'm holding control and press plus. All right, let me see if this works. Where's plus? I don't even know where plus is. Dang it, man. Where's that plus control? Is it up top? No. Oh, there it is. No. Works on somebody's, but not mine. It's a Mac, that's why. So we only got a couple more minutes here in the show. Top right, yeah, I found it, but no, it didn't work. It's a Mac, so Macs may be different. So, what's this? Oh, no. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Slow your report. No. Add emojis. No. Anyways, all right. So no. There's nothing I can do. I don't know. I'll figure it out one day. It happens. When you get old, things get harder to see. The good thing is I don't have to wear these for really anything else. So I just have to wear them when I do this. So, or if I'm working on guitars or stuff like that, I do wear them. All right. So, right about an hour in the show. I want to let you guys know that if you have not hit the subscribe button or the like button, trust me, it helps us out. So if you want to help us out, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. And we do this every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Next week, we're hoping next week, it may be the week after, but next week, we're hoping to do our live feed from Universal Studios. We're going to do it out there. It will be myself and a special guest that if you follow guitar shows and actually just on YouTube in general about guitars, you probably will know who my special guest is, my co-host for the night. He's actually in Japan right now. So when he gets back from Japan, we will do the show from Universal Studios. I told him we're going to do it from Halloween Horror. Oh, I didn't tell him it's from Halloween Horror Nights because I want to do it from Halloween Horror Nights, but he's a big scaredy cat and he doesn't want to go do Halloween Horror Nights. But we might do it from there. If not, I'll have to do it. We'll have to go into Islands of Adventure and do it inside there. But we want to do it at a different location together, and it'll be a lot of fun. So you guys will get to enjoy that. Thank you for the thumbs up and the likes and stuff, guys. We do appreciate it. It does help the channel grow. By all means, help us out. We're just trying to get to 100,000 viewers sometime. As subscribers sometime before I die. Terry, no, you can do a live stream from there. You can, they allow you. I know people do live streams there all the time. You can, anytime you want to do it, you can do it. So, but we're going to, we'll set up a live stream from there. I don't know where we'll set it up, but I'll be out at Universal on Friday night. I actually have a night off. I got to play tomorrow night. We'll be at Kona Tiki Bar in Ormond Beach with my acoustic duo, Sakoustic. Saturday night, I will be at Ruby Street Grill in Tavares with my band, The Occasional Astronauts, which you can see the poster back there says Occasional Astronauts, which I need to give that back to my bandmate. It's his, not mine. But and then Friday night, like I said, I'm going to be off, and I think I'm going to go out and actually scout some places and get my scare on. I'm going to go wait in lines that are 5 hours long just to go through a 3-minute house. That's kind of true, though. I hate to say that, but that's kind of true. So, but don't forget, coming up either next week or the week after, if I will be here 8 o'clock next week, once again, God willing, and we'll do this again at 8 o'clock, and hopefully we will be from Universal next week. Looking forward to Universal Studios live stream. I hope you are. Michelle, I'm looking forward to you showing back up again. And I do appreciate you coming back again. I know you came in a couple weeks or last week. I remember seeing you, and I appreciate you watching. So, everybody, you guys, you don't know how much it means to me for you guys to come out in here and hang with me and just talk and share stories and all this fun stuff. It's always a good time. Kind of gives me a little joy to my life. Trust me, it does. Because I deal with people all day in the shop, doing repairs, selling stuff, and some people are not nice. They're just not. And then playing live, doing that, traveling around all over the place and playing music and stuff is always great when I'm playing. It's the driving, setting up, and tearing down, and then driving back home and getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then getting up the next day and going to work. That's very hard. But I do it because I have to. So anyways, but I enjoy this time we get together every Wednesday, and we do this. So until next time, guys, I'm out of here. That means it's so long from the Sunshine State. You guys have a great one. Thanks for watching.